I mean, sure, Standstill's probably a bad idea, but we won't know for sure until we do it, right? Hello, folks. Phil Gallagher, aka ThrabenU, here for another Legacy video, and today we are going to be messing around with some Sharkstill. Now, one quick announcement before we move forward here. I am going to be taking tomorrow, Friday, February 27th, off to attend a convention. So, no video tomorrow. My apologies, but work-life balance, important sometimes, and occasionally you just gotta take a day off. This was one of those days. It has been a rough week with all of the data stuff going on, and I am a little drained. So, why ask me to play with a try-hard standstill deck? And in combing through results, looking for standstill finishes, I literally could not find any from 2026. And so we went back to 2025, and the deck list here is largely a deck list by Sprouts, who I believe is normally a lands style player. That was a 5-0 in a league, and I have changed a few slots here and there. The goal of this deck is pretty simple. Play a standstill on turn 1 or turn 2 and wait your opponent to death. This deck is playing some number of Mox Diamond so that you can actually play Standstill on turn 1 before your opponent gets ahead on board. And you have your own impressive thing that you can do on turn 1 as well. We have a few win conditions that we can do once Standstill is online, with Urza's Saga being the simplest one, and with Shark Typhoon being the coolest one. Now, should we happen to reach the end game, we also can technically just cast a Shark Typhoon and start making a ton of sharks as we cast Brainstorm and Life from the Loam or whatever. Although since cards like Pyroblast and Leyline Binding exist that can easily do a 1-for-1 trade with your 6-mana card, it usually ends up being better to cycle this instead. So we are a Bant Control deck technically, although the base here is strongly blue, and beyond that, it's strongly pitch cards. There's a ton of colorless mana in this mana base. Most of the things in this deck do not require very many pips. Assuming that you are pitch casting Force of Negations, the only thing in the deck that requires 2 of the same pip is Wrath of the Skies, which was a card that I included, kind of conceptualizing that an opposing Urza's Saga could get a little wild against us, or that we might want something that can help clear out artifact tokens from a deck like an Affinity or 8-cast style deck. This is a league that I expect to go slowly. That does not mean that I expect poor results from it, but we are, literally playing a card whose flavor text is take your time. So buckle up. We're probably going to have some long, skill-intensive rounds today, unless we just get absolutely wiped in the early game, which I'm hoping doesn't happen because of these cards. If you find that you want to play some Standstill for your own paper event, please consider checking out my sponsor, toamagic.com, to get your cards. I've really enjoyed shopping with them in the past. Promo code ThrabenU is something that I use myself somewhat regularly. With that being said, let's battle. Alright, my opening hand does not have blue mana here. I think I'm just going to mulligan this one accordingly. Any land, and it's fine. I have 2 Tamiyos that I can cast. Oh, this is a little sketch. Am I at 24 lands? Let's drag these back over here. Not you, Mox Diamond. I'm at 24 lands without pulling up the calculator. That seems okay. Can also cycle Spellbomb in a pinch. I'm going to go Reluctant Keep here. Marsh Flats. Maybe something in the energy ballpark. Alright, correct. Alright, never didn't have it. I might just let him have Guide of Souls in play and assume that I draw an Urza Saga or something eventually. I don't think I care about a 20-turn clock. Yeah. Mox Diamond, Junk the Misty, and play Standstill. Wasteland's annoying. My opponent actually should not do that. They should save that for an Urza Saga. I understand the desire to kill something on site, but I don't think that's what this game is about. Okay, cool. There's a Shark Typhoon. That's something that will beat Guide of Souls. Another Wasteland. Sure. If they had that to start with, then yeah, what they did was totally reasonable and fine. 18. There's another Shark Typhoon. I will keep taking one from this Guide of Souls. There's another Standstill, not what I'm looking for. Don't mind taking some chip damage. 16. There's a basic land. I'm already at the point where I can just base cycle a Shark Typhoon if I think that's a good idea. I don't think I need to do that yet. I will just keep taking some chip damage. Land drop is great. With one more land drop, I get to the point where Shark Typhoon becomes a 2/2 creature, and I fully just take out Guide of Souls. Notably, I have not found any counter magic or removal yet. I mean, I guess technically that's removal, but you know. I'll take one from Guide of Souls yet again. Seiju is fine. I will probably play this and it will get wastelanded on site, but that's okay. Did not get wastelanded on site, but did get wastelanded. I will go to 12. I'm fine picking up a basic land here. I will just go ahead and cycle this, making a 2/2 creature. Picking up Exploration, which is currently not good, but that evaluation might change with a Standstill. Alright, so I am getting to draw 3 cards here. I did not hit a counterspell, so this is fine. We're in upkeep. We're in upkeep. Ball Therapy resolves. I do not have Force of Will. I do have 2 Tamiyos. Amped Raptor, sure. Hitting Ajani. This is not great. This is a bunch of bodies, and Ajani can flip immediately to Cabal Therapy while taking either Prismatic Ending or 2 Tamiyos. Rather unfortunate. Alright, taking the Tamiyos. So my opponent has 3 energy, 4 after this happens. I'm going to take some damage to the face from Ajani, and then some more from Guide of Souls. I don't know that what I've got going on here is enough. Down to 9. I can Spellbomb the Guide of Souls out of play and nuke the Planeswalker. I'm still taking 4. So there's Urza Saga. Here's Spellbomb. Can I fit Exploration into this? Play Exploration, make this land drop. Yes. So yeah, fetch, pick up like a Trop. 1 and 2 on the Planeswalker. And let's do a temporary answer to Guide of Souls. My Standstill's a dead card until I answer the board. And Ghost Vacuum is not exactly amazing. I worry that my opponent can just produce 2 more bodies here and aggro me over the line with Guide of Souls. Okay, that was a Swords to Plowshares, so they're not going to cast that. So I'm not dead immediately, but I'm pretty darn close to dead. I'll take 6 going to 2. That's 4. And then 2. Urza Saga ticks up. I can block 2 things. I die to the others. That will not do it. I just get overpowered here. GG's. We played a 9-turn game of Magic, but since I did not draw any counter spells or really much additional removal off of the Standstill triggers, it did not work out. So I can pick up an extra Swords and a Wrath of the Skies for some of this energy nonsense. I can pick up Hydroblast for some of the creatures. I have 1 Pithing Needle already. I'm going to call that good enough. I can probably get rid of Ghost Vacuum. Force of Negation is not at a premium versus a creature deck. Then I don't know what to do with the last slot. Could potentially shave something like Expedition Map, assuming that Aether Spellbomb or Pithing Needle is the way that I normally want to go with the first Urza Saga. Yeah, let's do that. I'm worried that there's some things like Hexing Squelcher over there that really just mess with my counterspell stuff. I'm going to say that this is fine. Hexing Squelcher and Voice of Victory style cards are going to be really, really good against what I'm doing. So the goal here is to Swords my opponent's turn 1 threat, and then play Standstill on an empty board. That is fine. I will probably just brainstorm in response because I don't see myself casting it easily otherwise. Okay, this is all fine. I think I want to play Tamiyo and Swords before Standstill. I think I will just hide Standstill 2 down. All that good. I think it is completely valid to approach this the other way as well. So bam, bam, and bam. Basic planes and Ocelot Pride, that's fine. I will just go ahead and swords that immediately. I will send in with Tamiyo. And then I think I'm just going to play Tropical Island rather than Urza Saga. I think my opponent has to break the Standstill immediately. Alright, so there's Voice of Victory. I draw 3. This is going to transform Tamiyo. So I don't get to counterspell here, but I can swords on my own turn, which is fine. Alright, so plus Tamiyo, swords, Voice of Victory. I think play Urza's Saga, but crack the clue. Did not hit a blue card, which is unfortunate. That is what it is, though. Next turn I can Tamiyo minus and pick up a Swords to Plowshares, so it's not like I'm missing out on removal. You got it. And Elegant Parlor as well. Sure. Shark Typhoon. That's a cool pickup. I think I'll just ride Urza's Saga to victory here. Pick up Swords. Swords Ajani. I will probably Spellbomb that cat, although I might not have to. I don't think I want to play the bounce game with Ajani here. There's a new Ajani. Force it? I think I'll just force it. There's the Wasteland. I will make my little friend here. Is a 3/3. I'm going to try to keep the Spellbomb around. Ocelot Pride. You got it. Alright, I have successfully protected my Tamiyo for now. Tamiyo plus. I think my board is stronger, so I think Standstill is fine. So yeah. Yes. I can go on top. So there's 1 and 2 for the Standstill. Alright, opponent cracks immediately. I'll draw 3. I know one of those is the Shark Typhoon. I think I let that resolve there. If I cast Brainstorm, I'm dropping the Spellbomb. A Thoughtseize. Sure. I think the card that I care about here is Life from the Loam. Life from the Loam picks up Urza Saga. Opponent takes the Shark Typhoon. Okay, well, now I have to tap out of this. But this Cabal Therapy is not actually going to get a card. So this is now interesting because I just drew an Urza Saga. So now I care less about the Life from the Loam. I'll just leave the Mox Diamond that I don't care about in hand and draw the Standstill on my turn. Yeah. Opponent has named Swords. I don't know that that makes sense. I might have just cast that with my open Caracas mana. Okay, yep. Alright, that's good enough for my opponent to concede there. GG. Now I've got to do it one more time when I am on the draw instead. I think I'm good with this. My opening hand has an okay assortment of cards. I'm not sure that one land is good enough here. They're really good cards. Like, I have Tamiyo Brainstorm, I have 2 removal spells, I'm terrible versus Wasteland, I'm on the draw with 23 hits at other lands and 2 draws for that to be fine. And assuming that I don't get Wastelanded, Brainstorm is 3 more looks as well. Alright. Opponent just passing the turn, which allows me to play Tamiyo out. Also just Pithing Needle Wasteland immediately. Alright. I don't think you do that with that timing. You don't know whether or not I am about to play a Tamiyo or whatever. I think I am just gonna drop Tamiyo. The upside is pretty big. Ooh, it is the Wasteland though. Alright. Miss on land. I will send in with Tamiyo. I'm willing to take 1 to acquire the clue for later. Voice of Victory is very strong here. I'm not worried about these cards if I hit, but if I miss the land drop this turn and Voice of Victory makes the things here, it's very bad. At this point, I think I'll hold Tamiyo back. I think if I miss the land drop next turn, I will concede. 18 Bowmasters. not great. Opponent's going to have 5 energy, and going for the counters on Voice of Victory. Sure, I can block 1 damage a ton of different ways here. I think this one is over, though. Alright, yes, I missed yet again. I will concede there, and was a little bit greedy on a keep. I accept that loss. GG. Today's video is sponsored by moxfield.com. If you're looking to store your decks online, you're not going to find a better website. It's super organized and easy to use, and I sort everything that I do into a ton of format-specific folders, and you can customize the way that you use Moxfield to your liking. Whether you like text views or visual views of multiple different natures, Moxfield has it all. And it's so easy to use, you might even say that it's a snap. Part of the problem in trying to fit a bunch of utility lands into a mana base is sometimes you get hands that look like this. I don't know that current Legacy is such that a turn 2 Urza Saga backed by 2 Force of Wills is an amazing hand. Let's keep it for science. I think it's bad. This is an interesting enough situation that I think it is worth testing. I'll just go Boseiju and pass. And like, sometimes we also just spike the blue land and play Standstill on turn 2, and the hand improves vastly instantly. Mox Diamond is also a hit. That's something like 26 hits. Hey, fuck this shit. Dark Ritual. Opponent says, please don't hate me. No, absolutely not. Force a Will off Boseiju. The hate is here. I will Wasteland you in addition to this. Notably, I hate the deck, not the player. You can't blame people for playing decks that are good. So here's Urza Saga. Dark Ritual. Reanimate. I mean, I need to Force a Will it. I think I pitch Brainstorm. I believe that the Dark Ritual there is just so that they can activate this ability. Oh great, we're just going again anyway. Oh, you can do that. Yeah, that's fine. So, Urza Saga ticks up. I play Wasteland and pass the turn. No attack from the opponent with their 1/1. I will make my own 1/1. Then I need to take a quick look here. I get Ghost Vacuum or Pithing Needle or Undercity Informer. So yeah, I'm not sure that Ghost Vacuum does enough. I think I'll take it anyway. Drop Urza Saga. And in for 3, this will be a relatively swift clock. All right, no play from the opponent. On the very off chance that there's more reanimates in there, let's go ahead and take that out. Okay, Force of Will is one of my best draws there. So Urza Saga ticks up. I'll send in for what looks like 6 damage. And then after no blocks, I will turn that into 8 damage. Putting my opponent to 6. I have Force of Will here, and Ghost Vacuum, and I have Lethal through Wild Cantor. Alright. We win. And there was much rejoicing. So now we need to prepare for every sideboard plan under the sun. We won game 1, which is great, but the downside of that is that we don't know the exact contents of my opponent's deck. Wild Cantor is basically the one standout card that we got. The Wild Cantor probably means no juke, and it's Force of Negation to answer permanent-based cards. I can consign triggers, I can do Grafdigger's Cage and Pithing Needles to help. Fluster is probably fine still. Force of Negation is probably fine, although I have to end up firing that off at Artifact Mana a decent portion of the time. I'll probably go Prismatic Ending out. I'll probably go down a Life from the Loam. I would probably keep a couple of Swords to Plowshares in case I'm wrong and I do need to answer a juke creature. It also just helps with backup like Poxwalker type stuff. This kills all artifact mana. I'm in for this. That's probably enough threats that Shark Typhoon can go. Aether Spellbomb, probably not particularly important. Expedition Map, similarly not important. Now we're getting to the point where it's a little tricky. This could be a matchup where the Exploration can go and go down 1 further on Life from the Loam. Alright, I mean, I've got a Force of Will. Opponent going to 5. Opponent to 17. And casting Thoughtseize takes Force of Will out of the way, which is terrible. I do technically have a counterspell still. Ooh, opponent going for the consign. I think I will hold open Brainstorm here in case things get weird. Oh, cool. It looks like I'm going to get to play Standstill. Woohoo! Nice. I will put back land. I don't know that I play Standstill this turn. It may just be that Grafdigger's Cage plus Tamiyo in play before Standstill is just too good. Do I want to fetch away the ETB tapped land? I probably do. I basically don't have green, so I will just pick up another ton. Is that true? I guess drawing the loam is still relevant. Okay, it's not like I need more white pips. I will throw down Tamiyo and Grafdigger's Cage. One probably has things like Foundation Breaker that can answer Grafdigger's Cage. Foundation Breaker, Force of Vigor tend to be the things that I would expect out of my opponent if they are the green heavy build that has things like Disciple of Freyalise. Alright, fantastic. They are just passing the turn. Oh, Consign is cool as well. So send it. I will do this in a way that leaves open Consign and the force effects. Alright, so opponent is passing the turn. I will pretty easily bury them in Tamiyo cards. And now I just decide whether or not I want to flip Tamiyo immediately. I don't think I do. I think the Clue Machine is just fine. Alright, Cabal Therapy. I draw 3 cards. That will transform Tamiyo instantly. Cabal Therapy can resolve. I'll name Force of Will. I will have 2 Force of Negations here, which is fine. And now, I just do silly Tamiyo things. Draw. Ball. Draw. Ball. Plus Tamiyo. Play Wasteland. Wasteland you? Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. GG. Does my hand actually do anything? This can't represent all 3 colors at once, but Life from the Loam covers that. Like, is a Life from the Loam Wasteland hand that can remove a Tamiyo with Swords backup fine? I think I view this as an extremely good 6-card hand, with the second copy of Life from the Loam being redundant. So I don't know that I will mulligan into something of probably similar strength. Mox Diamond might be one of my better draws here. It that heralds the end. I don't think I'm going to mess around with that as far as Force of Will goes. We'll see if I get punished by not using it immediately when a Cavern of Souls drops next turn. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's really weird. Oh, that's uncomfortably weird. Believe. If the top card of my deck is a land, this line is so incredibly strong, and if it isn't, GG. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but, you know. Okay, cool. This means that if I miss the land drop, which I didn't, I had other lines available to me. So now I will work towards a large Shark Typhoon quickly. That was supposed to be Misty Rainforest, so that I could surveil. My bad. There is an Ancient Tomb, Blaring Fleshraker. I get to just Swords that if I play Misty. I am punished for my mistake. Hopefully it doesn't matter. Hopefully I just, like, obliterate Ancient Tomb here and move on with my life. Take a regular draw. Prismatic Ending. Oh, neat. So, Wasteland and Ancient Tomb. There's land drop 1. I think I will fetch. Pick up Tundra. 1 and 2. Play Misty. Fetch. Pick up something with green in it. And then go white and some other color to clear it that heralds the end. So now I have Wasteland forever. And I have a Swords for the next threat. Okay, we got a little greedy this game, and we did not get punished for it. The payoff was so high on the line that I took. GG. So I have another sword and 2 consigned to memories here that are going to be excellent. Wrath of the Skies has text. I think that's the best way to put that. I don't know that I want it. And I'm probably going to sub in Boseiju in case we get hit by something like Chalice of the Void that I care about in that way. Force of Negation is gonna go. Ghost Vacuum is gonna go, and then I trim one other card somewhere else. I can just do a substitution of a land, or fully go up a land here. I think I need Force of Wills, despite the fact that Cavern of Souls is a thing. I might go down one Shark Typhoon. I think I am expecting my win condition to be concession, rather than actually killing my opponent with a shark. Weird opening hand here. I can Force of Will one initial thing that my opponent does. I have no real follow-up from there. I think I want something more interactive than this. We're going to 5. 5-card hand is not great. 1, 2, 3. How impactful is Expedition Map as a 3-mana wasteland? That is not exciting. So I can go land, exploration, land, map, get wasteland on turn 2. Luck sack into Life from the Loam while keeping a swords. Alright. Do I just need to keep that in case I get chaliced? Magic's hard. Not every build of Eldrazi is playing Chalice. Because if I keep 3 things that eat it to Chalice, it's kind of bad. Alright, I think I'm going to give up on the tutorable wasteland and keep an out to Chalice instead. No Chalice. Mox Diamond. Not exactly amazing with exploration in play. I will drop exploration, play Flooded Strand with the intention of surveilling. But sometimes I need to just Swords a Glaring Flushraker this turn. Green? Neat. Alright, I don't think I'm going to Swords that. At least not yet. I will go for the Meticulous Archive. Brainstorm. This Mox Diamond is pretty bad. I'm willing to keep the Brainstorm. Let's hit a fetch land. Okay, that's a fetch land. So I probably now go 1 and 2. Play this land. Honestly, I'm just going to fetch now so I don't forget to do it. Grab a Tundra. Play a Tamiyo. And I've already brainstormed, so I can't brainstorm right now to flip Tamiyo. I can brainstorm on my opponent's turn to do it. Alright, we could see something big like a Reality Smasher here. Alright, that is an Eldrazi Linebreaker. I will Swords that. We do not want to deal with that card. It is very powerful. And we don't want to go to the beginning of combat. We don't want my opponent to have that trigger. Now, hopefully I run away with the game via Tamiyo. Ooh. What do I wasteland? Yeah? Do I have anything for green mana that I would cast this turn? Suppose it is possible that I could cast a Life from the Loam. So, yeah. Ooh, Tamiyo Creature. Nice. So I'm going to play Wasteland, Cavern of Souls. I think I'll put the Brainstorm 2 down. So there's Tamiyo Plus. There's Wasteland. I think we're going on the Cavern. Then there's Tamiyo. Oh. Okay. Could this not have been done in a way where I don't get the Tamiyo Plus? Like, it's relevant. I'm a Prismatic Ending deck. Okay, my opponent does have more colored mana, but is not making a play immediately. Understood. I will go Expedition Map, sacrifice, pick up a Urza Saga? Urza Saga is interesting, with Tamiyo making clues already. Yeah, what if this is about to be a Kozilek's command that junks Tamiyo? Might just be Construct time. Send in. Was not immediate Kozilek's command, at least not with the mode Nuke Tamiyo. Okay, it is just straight up no play. I'm going to read this as opponent is flooded. No, they're missing land drops. All right, going at my face, not at this Tamiyo. It's shut off via Disruptor Flute. All right, that is a Thought-Knot Seer. Taking no cards. Ooh, I don't think I am casting that. I will pass the turn here. The token that I make will be a 4/4 immediately, and then much bigger shortly. I don't want to see Eldrazi Linebreaker. I don't love seeing that either. I don't have a Shadow Spear. I am taking some damage here. Oh, okay, it was 2 Lotus Petals. The opponent was flooded. It wasn't lands. Okay, they are unwilling to send in. 'Cause if they do, I trade for Thought Not Seer and draw a card, but now they're not going to have that option. So 1 and 2. Now I have a 5/5 Aether Spellbomb. Aether Spellbomb seems fine. I'm not fantastic at attacking here. I attack and I kill an Eldrazi spawn. It may just be that I do that anyway. My opponent can only effectively attack me for 2. I think I'll hold back Tamiyo this turn, though. At my opponent's end step, I might cycle Spellbomb and get Thought Not Seer out of play. I don't know that I need to. It makes it easier to attack with both construct tokens. Then I take out like 2 things on the attack. My opponent can recast Thought Not Seer for some life and trigger Glaring Flushraker, though. I'll hold. I think I will start here. This is my second draw of the turn. I don't want to draw a third card. A Standstill. I could choose not to attack and probably play Standstill. What about attack once and play Standstill? What about attack with Tamiyo and play Standstill? Yeah, I like that. And then we just wait till the constructs are a little bit bigger. Yeah. This is also a thing. Less so now. All right. Another Standstill. Okay. Is it offense time with both constructs? I think it's offense time with one construct. I don't want to go all out and then eat it to Eldrazi Linebreaker at Cavern of Souls. This is fine. Another Ancient Tomb is probably not what my opponent wants to see. Oh, it's big. Have an on-cast trigger with this? Or is this just Kozilek's command, shoot for the fences? All right, we got an undoing of mana. Nope. All right, opponent is chilling. I think I'm going to leave my number of constructs in play here. I pick up a Wasteland. Hey, whatever you were going to do, what if you do it now? No. 1 construct, 2 constructs. 1 construct and Tamiyo, also a line. Try to send in with both. Let's put pressure on these creatures. All right, this is a Kozilek's command. I'm going to go ahead and let this first trigger resolve. I will take the 1. I will draw my 3 cards. My Tamiyo transforms against my will. I will keep the 1 on 4 loyalty. I will now counter this. So this will be Force of Will, pitching a Standstill. Either one of these is connecting, is lethal. Opponent also took a bunch of damage off their Ancient Tombs to try and make that happen. Okay, this is fine. So now I can either Otawara or Standstill. I can't Otawara and spell... Or does this count as Planeswalker? Legendary creature. I think I will go ahead and cast this. Eldrazi Temple is the draw. That is not gonna do it. We have gotten the GGs from our opponent, and we 2-0 this one. That was a relatively intricate game. Some neat combat math there. Like tension between holding Tamiyo back out of fear of chip damage versus attacking with Tamiyo to grow constructs. And like in that last turn, if I expect that my opponent is going to Kozilek's command and I have to Force of Will it anyway, is it better to attack with the Tamiyo? But if they had the Kozilek's command, wasn't it correct to probably do it when I wastelanded the Eldrazi Temple? A lot to think about there. GG's. Alright, I am going to mulligan this hand. No colored mana, not gonna do it for me. I really need more mana with this one. I need mana to crack clues and mana to get more land. I think I will keep this one junking Force of Will. I think there is some argument to just keeping, or rather junking swords, and if I draw a blue card, I have yet another thing to back up the Tamiyo. Especially since Trop does not cast swords directly. Let's throw down Tamiyo. Also, as an aside, this video is going to come out on Thursday, February 26th. But a few hours after my podcast episode and YouTube video went live, the decision was made to reverse the deck list changes. I'm going to let that resolve. So the deck lists are free. That is good. I will perhaps talk about this more somewhere when I'm not focusing on a game. I am very happy about this. But, very sad that I had to make content like that in the first place. And I am not implying that what I did pushed things over the line. Those gears might have been turning already. But I sure did put a lot of eyeballs on the problem. That's a shuffle off of that ponder. No attack is fascinating. Unholy Heat? Whatever, I trade and play a new Tamiyo? Yeah? Like this Tamiyo has already made 2 clues. Okay. Brainstorm. Sure. This is fine. So I will just loop down a new Tamiyo. They'll have Force of Will for something like a Corey Steelcutter or Murktide Regent. Next turn, I can get my white land. Yeah, Corey Steelcutter. No. Aw. That I dislike. Then the next question becomes, do I wait to play Swords to Plowshares around days? I'm not sure that I do with 2 clue tokens to crack here. Pick up Tundra. Could play Mox Diamond. I think I might want to brainstorm that card back. I think I'm going to try to remove this. I succeed. That does not necessarily mean that things are safe. Tamiyo is awful. Tamiyo with Brainstorm is worse. Because now Swords doesn't mess with it. Alright. And a Ponder. So, let's try to find Prismatic Ending. Fail? Good card, wrong timing. I think I will go ahead and crack again. Grab a Savannah here. Yeah. Alright, none of that is Prismatic Ending. I don't want my attention to be split between something like a Tamiyo and a Murktide Regent at the same time. Someone's gonna grab a Ponder. Oh, Wasteland is a kick in the teeth. That means that I can't, like, work on Urza's Saga towards Pithing Needle. Oh, great. Unfortunately, this does look to be the Murktide Regent that I did not want to see. Yes. 7/7. This doesn't literally, but effectively kills me in 2 hits. And Tamiyo minus might make that literal. I think I need to surveil over Urza Saga, unfortunately. Land is not gonna do it. I think our opponent was just a little too aggressive for us here. DRC and Corey Steelcutter and Tamiyo and Murktide was a lot in the first few turns of the game. They didn't have counter magic, but they just had a ton of threats. My clue redraws were not ideal. Oof. I'm not... Well, I guess I am technically dead for a Tamiyo minus kill this. I'm willing to concede here. I'm not winning from this position. GG. So what all do I want here? I want this Swords. I want the Hydroblasts. Can consider a Pithing Needle for Tamiyo. I already have one in the main deck, though. I don't know that I want another. I can consider Fluster. I can consider another land. Wrath of the Skies has some text as well versus Corey Steelcutter tokens. I think I do not want Force of Negation. Standstill is cool if I pull ahead. That is a pretty big if. I'm going to pull Expedition Map for being slow. I think I'm going to trim but not cut Standstills. That gets me 2 more spells in here. Blue count is slightly sketch. I just don't know that I have enough removal without Force of Wills for everything that my opponent is throwing at me. I think I'm going to keep Force of Will. Maybe Shark Typhoon cycling as a 3/3 is just good enough. Go down 1 Force of Will. Cards are just so good. This is a hand of Magic the Gathering cards. I will keep this under the premise that Tamiyo is stupid, but this does not have a cohesive game plan. I'll throw down a Tamiyo. See if my opponent removes it or plays their own or what. Pyroblast is fine. I will play another. Play another backed by Force of Will. I don't know that I want to wasteland my opponent. I've got big mana stuff going on here. It's awkward if this gets dazed. But I think I'm just into this. I don't know that I want that. The dance of my own wastelands and Pithing Needle for Wasteland is a little weird here. Or a Steelcutter. No. Great, that worked. No days is a big deal. Alright, Tamiyo sends in. Given the number of lands I have, I am probably going to wasteland. I'm going to crack this clue now before I decide. Yeah, I will wasteland you. I don't think I need to Mox Diamond immediately and play Pithing Needle. In case I draw Brainstorm, I can put Mox Diamond back. Alrighty. That's happening. So my opponent gets a monk, and the game begins. I have outs to this card, I have a couple of Boseijus, I have Wrath of the Skies, I have Prismatic Ending, so it's not like this just buries me immediately, but it is very strong. Alright, that becomes the plan. Yeah, make my clue, and I think I will go for this immediately. Put back 1 and 2, Tamiyo plus, play Misty, I think I'll pass turn here. I am probably just going to end up swordsing an onboard token. I'll float my mana. There is a little bit of a game of priority chicken going on here. I will just remove the token that I'm probably removing anyway. Opponent casts Force of Will. They are going aggro here on that monk. I guess that means I should fight back. Wasn't really intending on that, but okay. A Daze, that'll be enough to create another monk. I don't have green. I think it's more important to have consistent access to white here. I will pay. This is the same thing as before, where now my attention is split between two different permanents that are both a pain in the ass. I still have my Tamiyo. I think I'm cashing it in right now. So minus on swords, cast swords around Daze, and take a redraw. Wrath of the Skies. That's what this card was put in the sideboard for. If I'm lucky, I'll also get like a DRC here. Price of Progress. Shit, okay. Down to 6. I need to do Wrath of the Skies for X equals 2 to kill the monk token. I'll wait on that. Or, sorry, to kill the Quarry Steelcutter itself. I was supposed to swords that with the trigger on the stack. I'm not going to take half of my life total here and bring myself in range of Lightning Bolt. Opponent gets to know the next card that I draw. Off of Bobble. Hydroblast also destroys Quarry Steelcutter. I will potentially end up doing that. Yeah. Hope that waiting doesn't mean that my opponent, like, spell pierces that or whatever. Alright, Volcanic Island, no immediate play is good for me. I am dead if my opponent has another Price of Progress. Just Lightning Bolt face. Sure. Cycle for 1 in case I hit a land drop. I do hit a land drop. Already dead to Price of Progress, so no point in playing around that. Alright. That is just how it goes sometimes. If I hit the other land drop a little sooner, I can Wrath of the Skies, kill the Quarry Steelcutter, and then have the Hydroblast available for the second bolt. GG. Alright, final round. Hand is weird. I don't have green to play Exploration. I do have Brainstorm to smooth things out. I don't feel great about this. I think I have too many situational cards with no reaction. Alright. I mean, who am I to say no to turn 1 Standstill protected by Force of Will? Eluded Delta Gamer. Sure. So, land drop. Fake land drop. I think I'll just discard the ETB tapped land here and cast the Standstill. Certainly good enough for my opponent to respond. Tropical Island Gamer. I'll let Brainstorm happen. I will probably fight over a counterspell, though. A little weird if my opponent is playing something like Blue-Green Show and Tell, in which case I really need the Force of Wills to fight over their stuff, but we don't have to make that decision. Hey, it's Blue-Green Show and Tell. I get to bully their mana. Bully colorless or colored mana. Raw amount is a pretty big slowdown here. I will go raw amount. Well, sometimes you don't make the right call, and that's fine. So my goal is to have ideally like 3 counterspells by the time the Standstill trigger resolves, because there are some Veil of Summer, Force of Will type effects in my opponent's deck that could allow them to fight back relatively well. They are not hitting land drops. I am hitting counterspells. Opponent is now pausing on my end step, perhaps considering whether or not they want to break Standstill with something like a Brainstorm or Intuition. It is time. Not impressive cards for this particular matchup. Hopefully that doesn't matter. Ponder's fine. I would not mind casting Life from the Loam, picking up Wasteland, wastelanding Ancient Tomb, and then deploying a new Standstill. I would have one guaranteed counterspell, perhaps a second. Sure. Alright. Oh, wow. This is a lot. So I can't Life from the Loam, Wasteland, and Standstill all. Am I happy enough just deploying Standstill? Or alternatively, not deploying Standstill and just having a bunch of these? I think that's fine. There's the Loam. Ooh, opponent is responding. Bell Pierce. Sure. You may counter that. I could play Tamiyo here. I think I will just hold up versus Spell Pierce. The blue cards in my hand are extremely valuable right now. Rainstorm is fine. Alright. It is time to begin fighting. I think I'm just gonna drown out Spell Pierce immediately by just fetching and having stuff available at all times. So here is a Force of Will pitching a Tamiyo. There is a Force of Will back. Now, which card do I want to leave in hand afterwards? This will be 3 of my Force of Wills if I Force of Will pitch Force of Will. This is an ETB tapped land, so I can't hardcast Force of Will in the next turn. I think I'm going to pitch Standstill because I don't have that many counterspells left in the deck. Yeah. And then we're hoping for no Veil of Summer off Lotus Petal. Well, good news, it was not Veil of Summer off Lotus Petal. The bad news, it was Show and Tell creature, Force of Will, blue card, Force of Will, blue card. Rough. Archive. There's an Atraxa. Shark Typhoon, X equals 3. Probably not going to do it here. How bad is this? Is it Charm? Wild. You do not see a lot of that. My opponent gets Sneak Attack, Emrakul, and more stuff. I could pretend, but my opponent's got it from there. GG. So I'm not interested in Prismatic Ending. Expedition Map finds Caracas. I'm not interested in Ghost Vacuum. I am interested in Force of Negation. Lavinia's fine. Boseiju is playable. I could do another Pithing Needle. That would not be crazy. Consign for Atraxa triggers is also not crazy. Consigning an Atraxa trigger and then Swordsing is an okay plan. I would really just rather that the Atraxa never hit play. I can fight much harder on the stack in this next game. We'll still have Otawara that can technically be an out to a creature that sneaks in. Yeah, what if we just don't? This is 60. I could also Hydroblast for sneak attack. That might be better than Boseiju. Deal with it on the stack, not with it in play. And how do I get this in here? From a Life from the Loam or a Shark Typhoon. Largely intend to win with Urza Saga tokens. Let's do a Life from the Loam since it doesn't pitch to the various blue counter spells. This is fine. It flips the Tamiyo on turn 2. It technically has access to Caracas as the game goes along as well. Which of my secondary colors matters more in this game? Might be white for Lavinia. Let's Tamiyo. Opponent has their land drop. Alright. Is it alright? Alright. I don't think I'm gonna fight over that. Alright, now I just need to find any other land. Well, I guess it does have to be green. So it's not literally any other land, but this will do nicely. I think I will bury map, put some other land on top that I'll draw next turn, play out the land that casts Fluster. ETB tapped land is fine here. Opponent says no to a land. I don't think I'm flustering a Ponder. I think there will be better times to fight. Now I will drop a land, play Loam to pick up Misty, and I have a few counter spells available to me. Ancient Tomb. I think I start with a pitch counter here. I will go ahead and Force of Negation. Oh, it just worked. I was fully not expecting that. I think I say no map, crack map, wasteland, Wasteland, Ancient Tomb. And now I have Life from the Loam, Wasteland to obliterate all of this stuff, and a Force of Will to get me through the next turn. I thought I was going to have to fight harder on the previous turn. I wanted to be able to fluster a Veil of Summer and the Show and Tell at the same time. I think I let that resolve. That's a good card, though. I will now dredge Life from the Loam, and we're going down this Wasteland route with the hopes that the soft counterspell of Flusterstorm is enough to counter the next thing that comes by. I mean, I suppose I can force as well. Alright, cool. So, I am okay with continuing to go after the mana here. This is a weird looking draw 3, though. There's Wasteland, pass turn, upkeep, take out a Volk. I've used a bunch of Force of whatevers already. Boseiju, sure. Keep dredging. Yeah, at some point this happens where I pick up 2 reasonable lands at the same time. Alright, opponent has a force effect. Force pitching Omniscience. This means that this is bad for them. I think I'm just staying the course here. Play Wasteland, pass turn, Wasteland one of these in upkeep. I think I'll go for the red source. That Ancient Tomb into sneak attack is not a thing. Feel a little naked right now. Looks like this plan can just continue though. Alright, double Wasteland is incredible. That's what I want. Drop 1, pass turn, take out Trop in upkeep. Yeah. Cycling Lorien Revealed. Alright, they are doing their damnedest to keep their mana. Going for a Thundering Falls. They might not have too many options as far as lands left in the deck. I haven't exactly been keeping track, but I've blown up a bunch. It's turn 8. Alright, there are other fetchables. This turn I don't need to dredge. I can try to get a counter spell. Nope, all lands. So there's Wasteland, pass turn. I'll take out Boseiju in upkeep unless Misty fetches, which it does not. Okay. So there's the tapped Thundering Falls. Pyroblast to graveyard. Life from the Loam. Cast, Wasteland, Wasteland, some other card. I think I'm at the point where I will be discarding a land. Wasteland, since Thundering Falls is tapped, I will go ahead and Wasteland it now before it untaps. I will discard a Flooded Strand. Alright, my opponent has given up. We just Wastelanded them into Oblivion. GG. There were many turns in there where if my opponent has land drop, show and tell, plus creature, my life gets bad very, very quickly. And it's possible I even should have pivoted off of the plan that I was doing. I think I'm going to bring in the other Pithing Needle for the game that I'm on the draw. Maybe at the cost of a Shark Typhoon. Opening hand is fine. I'm probably going to Mox Diamond, junking this, playing one of the 2 lands depending on what is situationally correct, and throw an early Pithing Needle on sneak attack. Yep, this is fine. Opponent keeps their card. I'm fine going for the Wasteland immediately. I'm also fine doing this. The ETB tapped land is not going to do me a ton of favors anyway. Say no to sneak attack. Scalding Tarn comes down. Opponent passes. I've already used my Surveil land. I'm going to put this land into play though in case I find a Brainstorm later. We'll just kind of chill with this one. And this is where I want a Tamiyo, an Urza's Saga, or a Standstill to start doing something that accumulates some cards. Very awkwardly, if my opponent somehow has room in their deck for Tamiyo or Murktide Regent or something like that as a pivot, I'm not great at answering it with Force of Negations specifically. Ancient Tomb. There is a stock up. That's a good card. I think I'm going to let that resolve. If I have a Tamiyo or something in play already, I can potentially spew some cards early on. But I might need to fight 2 or more times on a critical turn later on. That is fine. Is maybe even good. I think I am willing to cast that here at the cost of not being able to hardcast a Force of Negation immediately. Ooh. Wasteland Life from the Loam incoming. I think I go 1, 2. Life from the Loam is on top. Do I even play Tamiyo, or do I just need double counterspell available immediately? I might just need double counterspell available immediately. This may be me being too conservative. That's fine. But I don't want to lose to Show and Tell with Pyroblast Daze, Force of Will, whatever backup. Alright, cool. So I will draw this Life from the Loam. 1 and 2. Bam and bam. And we start trying to play this game again. That is a Force of Negation. That will exile the Life from the Loam. I am willing to fight over that. It has to be Force of Will, but I will Force of Will pitching, honestly, probably Tamiyo. Alright, I cannot fight back further here. Stack clears. I think I know the card currently on top of my library. I don't remember what it is. I don't think it's good. I've already used Meticulous Archive. This will be Hedge Maze. Don't ever care about white, so that should be fine. Any blue card here is fine, because it gives me hardcast Force of Negation, pitchcast a spell as well. Now I feel comfortable hardcasting Force of Negation on something like Stock Up. Ponder's fine though. Scalding Tarn? Pass turn. Shark Typhoon is okay. I will potentially cycle that at my opponent's end step if nothing happens on their turn. This is a pretty small shark. It's something. This is honestly just getting me a card deeper into my deck more so than anything else here. There's a Tamiyo. There's another Tamiyo. Now I can go ahead and play out a Tamiyo while still having 2 counterspells available. Hopefully I am starting to turn the corner on this game now. Thundering Falls. Hardcast Force of Will. I kind of want to fight back, but I think I'll just play another Tamiyo. Does mean I only have 1 counterspell available for the next turn if I play this out immediately. I'm going to hope that that's fine with my opponent on 3 cards. Ponder. It's possible I should just wait though. There is Show and Tell. I will Force of Will, pitching Force of Negation. Opponent is looking for an answer. See if I lose this one for playing the Tamiyo. Pyroblast does it. Force of Will blue card with the last thing being a creature also does it. Okay, cool. Not punished. Now I have Force of Negation hardcast for the next turn. In. Let's just always yield to this. Opponent takes 1 down to 10. The Shark and Ancient Tomb activations are adding up. Another land drop. We're still going. No, I think not. Fantastic. Urza's Saga as the pickup. So yeah, Tamiyo Clue. Take 1. I think I will crack a clue immediately. Otawara, which does cost 3 currently. That's mighty nice. Do I transform Tamiyo? I don't think so. I think I'm going to hold up the Otawara. Is it Charm looting mode? I accept. How many Show and Tells are gone now? Brainstorm. Right, I sent 1 to exile. So 2 of the 4 Show and Tells are gone, and the sneak attacks are currently not live unless we get into some weird Boseiju type category. Opponent has 1 card in hand. Alright. Now I gotta think. So Tamiyo attacks, Tamiyo makes a clue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Opponent's gonna be at 6. The Urza Saga probably kills no matter what. When it connects, Brainstorm may end up casting that. Alright. Punchies. Send it. Trigger. Down to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Urza Saga token already kills on its own. I'm just thinking if I want to Brainstorm now. I think I do. Cool. Put back Brainstorm. Let's put back Hydroblast and Force of Negation better than Otawara. Probably. Bam, bam. Transform Tamiyo. Tamiyo plus pass. I think I've got it from there. Hey, we do got it. Alright, why? There is our positive finish with Try Hard Sharkstill. GG's. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Overall thoughts on the deck list. For what it is, pretty solid. Do I necessarily recommend this overall? No, probably not. But if you want to play with Shark Typhoon and Standstill, this is a pretty good way to do it. Again, this was a list that I picked up from, I think, October of last year, so there is not a lot of innovation going on here. I could not think of any new cards that would fit into the shell. If you think of something that came out in the last couple of months that would fit here, throw that down in the comments below. I would appreciate that. But generally speaking, I just adjusted a few sideboard slots. I don't know that you can make this deck too awful much better, but the ratios here seem about right, even if some of the numbers seem a little weird at first, like 3 Mox Diamonds and 1 Explorations. This was a really fun way to spend a couple of hours, and I'm going to go ahead and call it a day and take a closer look at that announcement talking about the deck lists coming back. Have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya.